I am he as you are he, and as you are me, and we are all together now. I am the Eggman. You are the Eggman. I am the walrus. Goo goo gajoo. There is something a little trippy about the 17th chapter of John. On the face of the passage, it is a prayer, but it is an unusual prayer. First, it is a prayer to the Father. Then it is a prayer for the disciples and their life after Jesus is gone. Then it becomes a prayer for the church, a prayer even for us here today. And it seems to be informing God more than it's asking God, and it's long. Let's start at the end of this list and work backwards. It is long. Often in Mark we're informed that Jesus prayed, and the first time we actually get words of Jesus in prayer, there are 11 of them. And what we call the Lord's Prayer, thank you, is 70 words, and that includes the Amen. This prayer today occupies the entire 17th chapter. We did not hear all of it, and it consists of 643 words in English. Wow. Now, generally speaking, and in other places in the gospel, Jesus advises us to pray in secret, or at least in private. Don't be like the hypocrites who pray on the street corners. However, here, Jesus is praying to be overheard. In the minister business, in the trade, this is known as Jesus' high priestly prayer. So it is more like a pastoral prayer in the church. At its best, a pastoral prayer is offered to God on behalf of the congregation, expressing the common concern and aspiration of the group, and it's designed to be heard by them. Jesus here wants the disciples and others present to know that he is praying for them. It is a little like writing a letter of recommendation for someone and then sending them a copy of the prayer, or providing a reference over the speakerphone over the phone on speakerphone with the person being recommended sitting there with you in the office. It's putting in a good word. Where it gets a little cosmic is when we read or hear this, we realize that Jesus is praying for us too, even those of us here today. You know, sometimes you'll be reading something and the writer does the more pedestrian and will say, "Dear reader," and then will speak off the page. But this is more subtle. And I remember discovering it for myself, reading this passage one day, and it produced an excited little tingle. I know, he prayed for me. John does this speaking directly to the readers in other places, sort of like at the end of the Thomas account, where he says, well, what these are written that you might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. Well, enough on literary technique. What is Jesus saying to us if we're supposed to overhear it? I'm going to summarize a little chunk of it. Now they know that everything you have given me is from you. For the words you gave me, I have given them, and they have received them and know the truth, that I came to you, and they have believed that you sent me. I am asking because they are yours. All mine are yours, and yours are mine, and I have been glorified in them. Protect them in your name, so that you have all that you have given me, so that they may be one as we are one, that they may have my joy made complete in themselves. But I ask you to protect them from the evil one. Sanctify them in the truth. Your word is truth. As you have sent me into the world, so I have sent them into the world. They may know the truth, protect them, make them one, give them joy, sanctify them, make them holy, let them complete my Jesus mission in the world. This is pretty heady stuff. Knowledge, truth, unity, joy, holiness, protection, mission. We have a common life in and with God through Jesus. While this is basically the same theme as a couple of weeks ago, where we heard about the vine and the branches and how they're all connected, I believe that in this prayer, Jesus takes it up a notch. We are the common life of God. It is one that we share in the church. Well, there is for me a very funny comedy routine about a Spanish-speaking Mexican guy visiting an American health food store for the first time and reading the label on a container of milk there in the case. Soy milk, he says. I am milk. And he comments on the elevated self-esteem of this milk. He said, maybe that's why it costs more. I am milk. He muses that milk has been selling itself short for far too long. Jesus has 7 I am statements in the book of John. I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the door of the sheep. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the good shepherd. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the true vine. Since we have this common life with Jesus, can the church legitimately claim these same 7 I am statements? I believe we can, and I believe we must. We are the bread of life. We are the light of the world. We are the door of the sheep. We are the resurrection and the life. We are the good shepherd. We are the way, the truth, and the life. We are the true vine. While we would not claim this of our own accord, we have Jesus applying this to us and giving us this mission. How does this guide our self-understanding? Or how does this guide our sense of purpose? It is a big responsibility. This is the most important thing in the whole world. It is a big deal. We would not presume such a role, but it has been given us by Jesus. At this point, I'd like to stop and say a word to the confirmands. It hasn't happened yet. You don't have to do this. Think carefully, but let's continue. And such a responsibility guides us to take what we are about very seriously and receive it humbly as a charge and an obligation from God. And it helps us sometimes when we take on the mundane day-to-day decisions in the life of the church. Responsibility, charge, obligation, these are not currently popular concepts in American society. So this is a very countercultural understanding. We have to ask, what do we stand for? How do we call a new pastor? How do we do children's ministry and ministry with families? How do we do our ministry with elders in the life of the church? How do we prioritize our activities that we're going to do and that we're going to support, especially when we have limited resources? How do we approach a new boiler, roof repair, weeds in the parking lot? You know, this is not just any institution. It is about the mission we are given by Jesus. It is about the life of God in our community and in our world. Knowledge, truth, unity, joy, holiness, protection, mission, oh my. In one of the prayers where Jesus is quoted in the gospel, he prays, Lord, take this cup from me. Save me from this hour. Not my will, but thine be done. Amen and amen.